What's going on, y'all? So look, so this video is about 2 years in the making, and there's a reason why I haven't fully addressed this in almost 2 years, and I'll get to that in a second. And I'll also get to the reason why I am now deciding to address this. Now, for those of you guys who are not aware, Slander God made a live last night, and at one point in time, Smoke Guy came on to the panel, and Officer Pillsbury was also on the panel. And at one point in time, Officer Pillsbury asked Smoke God if he would be willing to come onto my panel to talk with his ops. And Smoke God responded with, I would never go on LV's panel because those debates he had, he took that idea from me. Now, this isn't the first time Smoke God has said this about me, that I stole the debate idea from him. This isn't the first time that he has done this. And again, there's a reason why I never fully addressed this. Because the guy that's accusing me of this, being Smoke God, this is the same guy that has said that Brown Sugar Baby and Dr. Nikki Proctor Walden is the same person. This is the same guy who said that the T's are E and J. This is the same guy who said that Unc Must Be Logic was some old decrepit black man with gray hair and a gray beard, and he showed a picture of this only for Spot 'em Shot 'em to expose that that was just a Google pic found off of a website. This is the same dude that said that Lennon Honor and Umar Johnson are working together. This is the same person who just recently said that D. Durrell is working with the anti-fraud warriors. So pretty much at the end of the day, Smoke God is like this major conspiracy theorist. And just the fact that he even accused me of stealing a idea from him, meaning the debates, I pretty much knew what I was dealing with. I had no time to entertain that nonsense, especially coming from a guy that has made those type of conspiracy theories back then. This dude really said that Dr. Nikki and Brown Sugar Baby are the same person, only for them two to show up at the same time talking numerous times. Again, this is the same guy that just said recently that D. Durrell is working with the AFW. So why should I even entertain this? But I'm going to tell you why, though, now that I'm going to entertain this. So at one point in time, I thought, with me and Smoke, like I thought we was cool. I thought water was under the bridge and all that other stuff, like I was cordial to him. He was cordial to me. So for him to still run with this narrative that I stole this idea from him, I'm saying to myself, dude, where's this really coming from? Is this the PTSD or is this about jealousy? Because there's no way in the world that you can't be serious, especially with all the other conspiracy theories that you have came up with. Because when it comes to the other stuff that you have claimed, sir, the scoreboard ain't looking good. But I'm going to go ahead and entertain this, and I'm going to go ahead and finally address this after 2 years. But before I go any further with you, Smoke, I want to address Miss Smoke real quick. Now, Miss Smoke, ma'am, I don't know you and you don't know me. But I do want to make one thing perfectly clear to you, ma'am, and I mean this respectfully. You don't summons me. You don't summons me to come onto a panel, yet you're the same person 24 hours prior when Stargate tried to call you out. You refused, and then you went on a rant saying that nobody summons you. So if nobody can't summons you, what makes you think you can summons anybody else? Now, with all that being said, Miss Smoke, if you want to summon somebody, at least have the same type of energy for Stargate, because Stargate has been calling you out for a long time and you refuse to have a conversation with her. So once again, ma'am, I need for you to have that same type of energy for Stargate before you want to start summoning anybody, especially with me. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move on from that. Now, Smoke, back to you. Sir, listen, here's my question to you. If I really stole any idea from you, sir, then why is it for the past 2 years the only person to say this is you? How come nobody else has made this claim that I stole the debate idea from you? And I'm going to answer that for you because it's pretty obvious. It's pretty easy to answer because I never stole anything from you. Now, Smoke, if I ever did steal an idea from you, or if I'm going to take an idea that's similar to you, especially to anybody from this sector, I would have had no problem asking you for your blessing if I can do this. I would have had no problem giving you credit. And I'm going to give you a great example of that. For those of you who have been following me for a while, at one point in time back in 2021, I was going to start a series for Secktah Court. Now, if you guys have been here, you guys know the originator of Secktah Court was Slander God. And Slander God will back me up when I say this. When I was having the idea of doing the Secktah Court series, I asked Slander God personally behind the scenes. I asked Slander God if I could have his blessing so I can do the Secktah Court series, because Slander God was the guy that did it first. And Slander God gave me his blessing. And if you guys look back at my archives, you would see in the Secktah Court trailer, I clearly said I got Slander God's blessing to do this. That's a clear example of me taking somebody's idea, which was Slander God's idea for having Secktah Court, and I gave him his props. I asked Slander God behind the scenes if I could use this concept, because I know if I didn't, I would get just blasted by the sector for taking Slander God's idea. That's an example of me taking someone's idea, but yet at the same time, I went behind the scenes, I asked for his blessing, and I gave him props as I was starting it. Now, Smoke, again, if I stole anything from you, how come I didn't come to you personally to use the debate ideas? If I stole something from you, how come I didn't give you credit? And again, I'm going to answer that question for you, because I didn't take no idea from you. Because much like with Slander God, I went to him behind the scenes. He gave me his blessing. I gave him his credit for the Secktah Court series. And again, it's in the archives. Go ahead and check the archives when I was starting to do that Secktah Court series. Go ahead and look back at it. So, just to quickly go over on where the debate idea came from, and again, it didn't come from you, Smoke. It came from basically when Stargate didn't want to do the interview with D. Durrell back in April of 2021. And because of that, I was so disappointed that Stargate didn't want to do the interview with D. Durrell, because at that point in time, the sector was getting very stale. It was still AFW against good guys, Smoke Gang against good guys. I mean, like, at that point in time, it's just getting very stale. And I wanted things to be freshened up. So when D. Durrell said he was going to do an interview with Stargate, I was excited about that. And when Stargate backed out, I was very disappointed. And at that point in time, I really wanted the sector to have some type of freshness to it, instead of just the whole type of back and forth, lines divided and all that. I actually wanted both sides to have a conversation. And so that's where the debate concept came from, Smoke. It didn't come from you. It didn't come from you. Because again, if I did, how come nobody else backs you up with that? Nobody else has called me out for stealing that idea from you. Nobody else has been selling that part when you said that. Nobody else has backed you up. And I don't want to hear these conspiracy theories about how the sector is against you and the sector set you up and that's why they didn't say nothing. Bro, I brought up the idea of having a debate sector on April 7th, 2021. This was way before the Smoke Gang thing was collapsing. This was way before that. When Stargate When Stargate and D. Durrell was going to have that interview, Stargate was still part of Smoke Gang. Now again, if I took it from you, Stargate probably would have said something. Anybody else from your camp would have said something. But you're the only person to say it. You're the only person to say it, bruh. Something ain't adding up. And again, sir, based on your history, it ain't looking too good. Sir, you're the same person that said Brown Sugar Baby and Nikki Proctor Walden are the same person. I will never, ever, ever let that shit slide. You said that. You said that Unc was some old, decrepit black man with gray hair and a gray beard, and Spot 'em Shot 'em exposed that. He exposed it, that it was a Google pic off of a random website. You the one that said D. Durrell is an AFW, sir. It ain't looking too good. So what the hell make you think anybody's going to believe that I stole a debate idea from you? And if I did, sir, I would have asked for your blessing and I would have gave you props just like I did Slander God. And like I said, Slander God can back me up when it comes to that Secktah Court series. Now, Smoke, I'm going to go ahead and end it with this, sir. Smoke, if you're really that nigga, you don't need to keep reminding people that you are that nigga when it comes to the sector. You can have the people speak that for you. You don't see Michael Jordan going around here saying that he that nigga and the reason why people are where they are today for basketball is because of him. You don't see Jay-Z doing the same thing, being a mark for himself, saying, oh, well, you know, nah. You don't see Serena Williams doing that. You don't see Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or Barry Bonds or any of these people that have made so many contributions and made such an impact in their respective fields and works. They don't have to do that. But for some odd reason, Smoke, you have to keep reminding people what you have done in this sector, the impact you have made in this sector. That's a red flag. The people will do that for you. Now, take me, for example. Smoke, now, for me, I'm not saying that I had the biggest influence in this sector, because clearly I didn't. I'm not saying I made the most contributions to this sector, because I know I didn't. But what I do know is I did make an impact. I did make a contribution. I know that. But you don't see me going around here saying that. You don't see me having to remind people of what I've done in this sector, because I let the people do that for me. And a great example of that is, Smoke, when Officer Pillsbury had to ask you, would you come onto my panel to talk with your ops? You don't have to be a mark for yourself, bro. Let the people speak it for you. I'll talk to you guys later.